Okay, today we're wrapping up Unit 3, so we're going to look at market share and sales projection. Market share should kind of be a review. We've already talked about it, right? It's the percent of the entire market that purchases your product rather than your competitors or instead of your competitors. Okay, so if we think about Facebook, has 2.3 million users at the end of last year, and there's a total of 5.4 million users in the social media market. What is the market share for Facebook? We're talking about the 2.3 million that use Facebook over the total of 5.4 million who just use social media in general. The millions will cancel, and you definitely could have done that by writing a bunch of zeros, but it's probably easier just to think about 2.3 divided by 5.4, and we get 0.4259. I'm going to round that to a 6. If you want to think about that as a percent, we spend a lot of time doing that. We get 42.6%. Okay, we're going to use this now to help us with sales projections. So in order to estimate a sales projection, sorry about that spelling, you need to know what your share of the market is. A sales projection is an estimate of the dollar value or unit sales that might occur during a future time. Period. New products are in a changing economy may result in sales figures that differ from figures you project. So just like today, given this current economic situation, right, we're going to look at some food stores. They may have sold more than what they expected, but maybe like a clothing store would have sold less. But it all just kind of depends on what products you have and what's going on. So our formula for today is the projected sales equal the projected market sales times the market share factor. So this might be like kind of like a percent, right? Percent as a decimal. Or remember last time we divided, so it's just like that decimal, right? You think about it, it was like the ratio. Okay, so the community store has a 6% share of the market. Food sales for the next year are estimated to be 38,400,000. What's the projected sales figure for that community food store next year? So the projected sales market is the 38,400,000. And then in this case, if they have 6%, we're going to multiply times 0.06. So we end up with 2,304,000 is how much they can expect to sell next year. The other method we're going to look at, and this one doesn't necessarily require a formula, but we're going to look at reading a graph. So it says the marketing department of Stanley Store wants to project sales for the year 2021 using past sales. And it gives you the different years and how much they sold each year. So using a graph, what is the sales projection might look like what sales projection might the marketing department make for 2021? So step 1 and step 2 will always be done for you in this case. So they're going to plot the points and then kind of make an average, right? We call that the line of best fit if you've ever done that in statistics or another math class. But here we're going to look at, okay, if we go to 2021, which is over here on the right, we're going to trace up from there and see where it hits our line, which in this case is right here. So as we trace over to the left, we get partway between 9 and 10. So maybe we call that about 9.5. But what does that 9.5 represent? If we look at the label over here, it says sales in millions of dollars. So we're talking about $9.5 million would be our projection for 2021. Okay, so similarly, if you wanted to make a projection like in this case, they hadn't had 2017, the way you'd make a projection for 2017 is you trace up from 2017 and then you trace over. So maybe that's about 7.5 million. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the last one. This last one I put on here just because, had we been in class, we would have spent some time looking at different advertisements and kind of the math behind it. But I just think it's kind of funny to look at some of these advertisements and think about the math. So it says, just for fun, what's incorrect about the following advertisement? So notice it says now $7.50. It says it was $8.50, but it says save $1. What is the difference between 8 and 7.50? Well, that's only 50 cents. So what's wrong with this is that it says you save $1, but you really save 50 cents. right? I think there's something over here on the left that says you buy 2. So I guess if you buy 2, right, that you then have $1 of savings. But that's just kind of misleading here, right? So how could you change it to make it mathematically correct? You could say save, that 50 cents or 0.50 rather than $1. I mean, the alternative would be to say, hey, the new price is $7, but I don't think they necessarily want to change the price to be lower so they don't make as much. All right, you're all set to go for this last homework assignment. Good luck.